I would be remiss without throwing a little bit of other segments in the mix here, because I kind of feel like we need to do it. Just need to do a little bit of it, So, Mr. Everborn Saga, I would ask you to please whip out, pause, the old Pro 14, Pro Max 14 there, and let's have a quick conversation about your new iPhone Pro Max.
So I have not actually set this thing up yet.
Oh, you haven't even seen the dynamic island.
No, I haven't. Right, like, so I'm using. You know, you're gonna say it's the same thing, right?
It looks the same. Yeah.
But let's you know, this one has this one isn't on yet. I gotta set this one up. So this is the purple.
Oh, and by the way, like clockwork, before the stream was even done, an Android developer put the dynamic island on every Android phone. But let's continue.
I think Huawei did that like 4 years ago.
Yes. And now you can literally port it to any Android device, and it works exactly the same way. Hilarious.
Well, so
of course, Apple will always be. Apple's will always have the animation. It'll always be popping. It'll always be a little extra special. But just the fact that literally they spent all this virtual ink talking it up amazingly, people went, "Oh my God, it's amazing!" And before the afternoon was even done, some Android developer went,
"Oh yeah, some Android developer doing a not as good version of it." Like, let's call it what it is.
Come on.
How many times do it like the people? Well, first of all, it's like an American thing with the iPhone. Like, Americans just love it for some reason.
It's a need. I get it.
But the thing is, and I don't want to tell this whole story again. I got two of these things. I got a gold for the missus. I got the purple for me. I'm gonna connect it after we do the show, because I got to move the passwords over, and I got to set up like some keychain stuff for the development and all that. So I will do that, and I'll have a more in-depth review. But I
want you to answer this question for me real quick, because this, and by the way, just so folks know, I will be getting one myself. I'm trying to get the work to pay for it, so that's why I haven't gotten one day one. What do you think of this? Because this upset me. I will be leaving the United States on a trip for 2 weeks in 2022, and I will most likely be having an iPhone 14 before I leave. And because I will be buying said iPhone 14 in the United States, I will be missing a SIM tray. And I think that is absolutely egregious, because I won't be able to make calls where I will be. The option of a digital SIM is not available there. What do you think?
I think that has the iPhone ever had dual SIM? I know they've had eSIM along with physical SIM, so you've never really had dual SIM.
They've never had dual SIM, but they've had SIM, which has always been, viable, right? Because now, and for those who don't understand, digital SIM is basically sending the information digitally that used to be on a SIM card. So in other words, rather than you plugging in a thing, taking out the trim, putting the SIM card in there, and you're all good, now they have an eSIM, right? Which is great for convenience, but if you're a traveler or a person who likes to travel and likes to go to the local place and not have to deal with whatever ISP you're dealing with in the States or whatever, not having a SIM is a problem, because not every country has eSIM.
Let me ask you a question. You're on T-Mobile, correct?
Currently, yes.
Currently. But you're not going to Europe, so this.
No, see, this is my point. This is my point. They think that everybody lives in a world where Wi-Fi and/or LTE can blanket you. No, what if you go to some place around the world? Because guess what? The world is not just Europe and America. What if you go to some place around the world that doesn't have an infrastructure with eSIMs?
Hold on a minute. So, do they not support eSIMs over there?
No, they do not support eSIMs in most African countries.
That is interesting.
Yeah. So and that's the reason why this eSIM implementation is only for iPhones in America. They know better than to offer it to other countries.
But wait a minute. Here's the thing, though. If you are getting the phone like through some sort of carrier contract, right? You couldn't take it off of that network even if you wanted to.
Yes, I could. And I've done it many times.
On the iPhone.
Many times. On an iPhone, on Android phones, on any phone you
How
can
does that work? How do you get to unlock it?
So there's two ways. One is the technical way, and the other is the just the talking way. After 6 months of owning a phone, you can call them and say, "Look, I've had this phone for 6 months.
But
I'm leaving the
that would
country."
not apply here because you're leaving
Yes,
in
it
less
would.
than 6 months from now.
Well, yeah, that's fine, but that's
So-
one
so-
option.
But,
That's an
but
option.
that option doesn't work
Option
here.
two.
I'm talking
option
about
two,
practicality. This is why I'm asking this
practical
question.
option two. There's a technical, and obviously this being the 14, most likely the software needs to be updated. But there are software out there that you can use to go in the background and use the what do you call it, there's a way of decrypting the EEID to then unlock the phone permanently, and then it won't be locked anymore. So basically, do what the carrier would do for you. There's a way you can do it yourself. It's not easy. It's not make it not easy or not keep you locked in the subscription that you have. But you can unlock it if you so choose.
Okay. My last question is because T-Mobile allows for free roaming. Is that going to be an issue where you're going?
Yes, because T-Mobile allows for free roaming, but T-Mobile, the reason why T-Mobile and other carriers can do that is because they have partner companies in other countries. So like T-Mobile has a T-Mobile Deutsche Telekom in Europe, right? And it's actually called T-Mobile in Europe, right? So if you happen to be roaming, you're roaming on their own network anyway, so they can call it free roaming. Technically, you're roaming, but you're not really because you're still on their network. It's just a different facet of it in a different region. So they can, that's how they're able to make that happen, right? But you're not covering the entire world, right? If you happen to be going to Africa or you're going to some places in South America or whatever, right? This is basically the equivalent of saying the world now has all Bluetooth headphones. So 3.5 millimeter headphone jacks are now abolished from the world. That's not the case. There are places where 3.5 millimeter headphone jacks are needed for using your headphones, right?
But
so
most
the
new
fact
phones
of
from Samsung and Apple,
yes,
do not have the 3.5 millimeter.
and they give you either a Lightning to 3.5 or a USB.
Maybe Apple's plan is to sell us a Lightning to SIM.
That's hilarious. But you see what I'm saying, though? Like they're solving this is a problem that didn't need to be solved because their solution, their reasoning for doing that all the time is, oh, we're trying to save as much space in the phone. This was not a space saving thing, and even in the situation where they did remove it, the phone ended up getting bigger. So it wasn't to save space, right? The phone that had the SIM, the last one that had a SIM, is thinner than the one that doesn't have a SIM. So for reasons, they removed the SIM. I get it. It's just, it makes it difficult for me to buy it because I like to travel internationally and I will be traveling soon. And this turns into a paperweight the moment I leave their network, which is stupid. And it shouldn't be that way. And it shouldn't be that way because you're still offering the right phones to Europeans. So why not offer that to Americans too as an option rather than saying in America, so we're determining for you that you're now Mr. eSIM. Like, that's ridiculous.
So I bought this from Apple, right? And my question is, so I bought this like outright, right?
Yeah, pay cash. That's what I usually buy my iPhones as well. I don't.
So I'm not locked to any carrier.
Yep.
How does that work? Does that mean they sold me the one that they sell to the Europeans, or is it
just
in America?
No, you're in America. You're not locked to any carrier. But what that means is, if there are any carriers in America that don't support eSIM, you can't use them. Right. So that means
no SIM
T-Mobile. Exactly. You see, you are now beholden. You're basically the PlayStation 5 digital. You are now beholden to whatever digital store they choose to give you rather than you choosing where you want to go. That's the problem with this. You are now stuck to whoever uses eSIM. If you don't use eSIM, you can't be on their network. It is BS. And it is stopping choice, stopping consumer choice. It's crazy. Terrible.
Interesting.
So, Mr. Pixelbit G, I know, I don't know what you are. I would say you're an Android user, I think you're an Android.
You'd be right.
Am I wrong, sir?
You'd be right.
I knew it. I do it, good sir. What are your thoughts on here? I mean, by and large, from the reviews I've heard and all the quality, no one puts it past them. Apple loves bringing out that quality experience, even if they're regurgitating the technology.
Quality.
Yeah, top quality, and we've said it twice now, so I have to say I will be a guest on Games Talk Live tomorrow, where you will hear top quality be used, I'm sure. So come out and check us out, Fonzarelli's channel. I will be on there as a guest. But Pixel, do you think this is righteous? Do you think people are, or is this another situation of, the sheeple, the Apple slaves once again just kind of following along, or what are your thoughts here?
I'm going to refrain from slandering people who love Apple. It's
Okay.
To me they present a product.
Mm-hmm.
It's a similar product. It's not exciting. The camera's awesome. Yay!
It is, as long as you acknowledge
and
that.
the battery life is insane.
Oh,
the
yeah,
only reason why I have to buy that thing, the battery life is insane.
I buy Apple devices for my kids, and my wife, she gets that kind of stuff. But
You know why you buy those? Because you don't want to be the tech support man,
right?
And
Because I don't want to deal with the headache, right? They're made for dummies, so they're great. But
don't insult Apple people.
No. He's onto something. This
I know he is.
I mean, it's literally made so that you don't have to think about it, right?
You don't have to think about it. Yes.
But
I've always criticized Apple that if we lived in a world where Apple was the only tech company in the world, people would not know how to use technology, because Apple does their best to stop you from learning anything.
Right? That was Apple's goal at one point, right? Back in the days, like they shouldn't have to think about it, right? Where for a power user, it doesn't work for me because there's, my phones are extensions of my home network. Like, down to the file system. So
exactly,
I can't use Apple devices.
There's a file system on iPhones now. Let's be fair.
Yeah, but no, I'm sorry. If you just
how would you see that if you don't know better?
20 years, yeah, I'm good.
What do you mean? How would you see that?
How would you know that?
There. They surfaced that to you. What are you talking about? Stop it. It's surfaced there right to you. When you send an email, they ask if you want to go into files. When you press share, you can share the files.
Oh, so you actually use their email client? God.
No, it's the same thing in Outlook. It's the same thing. I use Outlook.
And you can connect it to your network and access your SAN drive and all that stuff.
And there are ways of actually really power using in iOS.
Whereas in the Android world, that stuff I've been doing it for so long.
It just is what it is.
It just is, right? I have my manager.
Someone in the chat is talking about build quality. I do not use a case. I have dropped this on the concrete several times. I've had this phone for 2+ years. This is the 12 Pro Max. Still here. No screen protector, nothing.
And
if I drop this, it will explode.
And on that, I have to unfortunately agree with Mr. Everborn Saga, because I am a proud user of an Android Galaxy, Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra, and S21 Ultra has a case on it and everything. This is what happened.
You're lucky it didn't blow up on you.
Wow. You see this,
the
right?
Point is this.
This is what happened.
Yeah.
They're talking about Gorilla Glass Victus. I'm like, screw you and your Victus.
So Apple. So now, so here's the thing, right? Apple was the first one with every phone sucks. It's gonna drop and break, right? Everybody I knew had an Apple phone with a cracked screen. That was that was the thing. So
and now it seems like Samsung's taking that.
Samsung has followed that.
Well, you know why it's happening with Samsung,
Microsoft as well.
It's the curved glass that they employ, and when Apple went away from the curved glass, the devices got a lot more durable. And I think
you get
Samsung,
no argument from me, good sir. No argument from me.
I think until Samsung moves back away from the curved glass, because it's just you have that curve, it's harder for it to be sort of reinforced.
Tempered, you get any pressure, crack. Absolutely.
Yeah, what's Microsoft's excuse though? Because the Surface 2 design, I love the device, but damn, glass.
That device is not for humans.
Yeah, it's not for humans. Like the whole device, I dropped mine on the outside, and the back of it cracked, right? Because the back is glass too. Who does that? What was the point of that, right? So But
I mean, let's be honest here. When we talk about Microsoft, let's keep it a buck. With the exception of their keyboards and mice, which they've historically been great at, right? And also, let's take away their consoles, because yes, they've threaded the needle there. How many controllers do they have to replace before you realize their quality control needs work? They are not. They make great devices. They don't make the sturdiest of stuff.
Yeah,
am I wrong?
Yeah, they're definitely not built for kids, because my kids destroy Xbox controllers, so no doubt.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so that's the point.
So,
they think I think because Apple is so slow to sort of change designs, and because they're kind of out in front in terms of sales and all of that, I think that they take the time to focus on those smaller things, like making sure this thing doesn't break when you drop it.
Yeah. So as much as I'm on that train that I think Android by and large for power users is better, this is me complaining that I'm still having to go back to iPhone, because there are certain key things that I can't live without. And yeah, here we are. But let's move on. Let's move on real quick. I appreciate this tech talk, because I have one more tech topic I want to bring up.
And we got to go quick, because 1:30 was my expiration date.
Oh, okay. Then let's be quick about it. Have you heard that EVGA is stopping making video cards?
You have to explain this to me.
And the reason for that is because NVIDIA are bad behavior. So, okay, real quick explanation.
And I heard NVIDIA's response was, "We wish them luck."
Yep. Exactly their response.
Good luck.
So real quick, so the folks understand, unlike let's say your Xboxes or your PlayStations, right, where the manufacturer owns the entire manufacturing chain all the way through getting it in your hands, NVIDIA and AMD and other graphics creators, they depend on partners. So although they make their own reference design, their own initial version, right, until recently, and the 300 series has been different, because people have actually commended it that it's been actually pretty quality. But by and large, if you want a good cooling, if you want overclocking, if you want your graphics card to be more quality, you tend to go with off-brand. You tend to go with third party, EVGA being one of them. Right? There's EVGA. There's a bunch of different second party partners, if you will, in the market. Take them as they are the HP to the Surface, if you will. Right? They take the original reference design, they add something special to it, they make it unique in the market, and then they sell theirs. EVGA has been the best one for NVIDIA. They by and large, they sell EVGA sells a lot of graphics cards. The problem here is, yeah, MSI, of course. There you go. Thank you there, Mr. Fuzzy Belvedere. Thank you so much for joining us, by the way. The problem here is NVIDIA has been behaving quite badly, acting as if they don't need their partners, even though they do. The reason for all this, and there's a lot of back and forth, but the long story short here is they will literally wait until you hear it from NVIDIA while they're doing their keynote that everybody's watching on YouTube before EVGA knows like certain key aspects that they should know, because they're a second party partner, right? It's like learning. It's like HP learning that Windows 11 is a thing right when Microsoft is announcing it on stage to the public.
Okay,
that's literally what they're doing to EVGA, right? They don't tell EVGA how much the original card will cost, so EVGA doesn't know how much to charge their cards. Like, and literally the animated, the website's up. The pre-orders are out. Everything's ready to go. EVGA does not know how much a reference card for NVIDIA will cost. Right? They don't know, because NVIDIA does not feel the need to tell their partner what's necessary. So they're having to adapt stuff like that. So eventually, the 60-year-old CEO from EVGA went, leaking? Screw that, I'm out.
Have they been leaking sensitive information?
Nope, no sensitive information leaked. None of that. It's just, by and large, all the reading I've done on this is like the CEO of EVGA is kind of like this old, honorable guy, and he's just like, I'm done with these people. They don't respect me. They don't respect my company. They don't respect my time. I'm done. I quit. No more EVGA. No more NVIDIA. They asked him, are you going to go with the competitor? Because Intel is now coming into the market. They could use someone like you to help them shine. Nope, they're all the same. Screw them. I'm done. That's literally what's going on here. So I guess I'm bringing this up because this is literally NVIDIA kind of taking some pages from Apple's book. They're being a bit aggressive. They're being a bit arrogant. They're being a bit whatever. You do you. We'll be fine without you. And because of that, the number one graphics card manufacturer in America, right, the second party graphics card manufacturer, is quitting the market because screw you, NVIDIA. I'm done with you. As I speak, I'm literally looking at my EVGA 3080 card. In here.
I
bet you have your 3080 in yours too. You have a 3090. Okay, there you go.
But it's
Is it EVGA?
Yeah.
There you go.
Wow.
They agree. They will continue to support the existing 33 series cards, but they're not planning on making 4 series cards. They're not planning on moving forward with NVIDIA at all. They're like, middle finger, we're done. I just think it's a crazy story.
I think they end up working this out and they'll be back for the 50 series card.
Crazy, right? Just to the point where the company has like 200 and some odd. Slow. I see Ham Solo's moving. Thank you so much. I appreciate you being here, man. We'll talk soon. Like, it's just nuts. It's just nuts. They have 200 some odd employees. They're still planning on paying them for as long as they can, even though most of those employees are graphics designers, graphics makers. And they're like, nope, we're not firing a single person. Y'all keep making money. We're just not working with NVIDIA anymore.
Are they just going to make AMD cards now?
They refuse to make AMD cards.
So they're saying they're done with the market. That's
yeah.
Great.
They still make motherboards. They still make PSUs, power supplies, bunch of little accessories here and there. But their big business, what you know them for, is graphics cards. And they're like, nope, we're done because of bad behavior on NVIDIA's part. So there you go. I thought I'd educate folks a little bit because this is a thing that's out there that's just like, yo, I think there needs to be some regulatory attention here. This is kind of crazy right now, forcing people to get out of their business because what this will do is effectively make graphics cards on PC games way more expensive because you have no choice now.
I was actually going to ask about that. What does this do to the market of video cards?
Yeah,
because if it's one less player, that's one less
players.
Supplier to meet demand, and then supply goes down.
Those who pay attention seem to think that NVIDIA is trying to go the Apple route. They want to make their own thing, the complete end-to-end, and like get rid of all the partners.
They probably see all
each graphics card is $1,000. They see all the scalpers, and they're like, screw that. We can make our graphics.
Well, I mean, is there any world? Of course not. I already know the answer to this, but is there any world that now, if they had if they were the ones, basically they had all that demand to fill, so they could actually make it up in volume to keep the prices relatively, okay.
Mm-hmm. But EVGA, they're kind of like the what do you call it? Ninja Theory of their industry. They hit AAA heights, but they're kind of a AA studio kind of thing. They have 200 employees. That's it. But they're the biggest like second party distributor of video cards specific for NVIDIA in the United States. Huge. Yeah. And they're gone. It's going to be a big deal for gamers.
I think they're coming
next
back.
Year. You think so?
I think somebody drops the bag on them. They get a call.
See, what I think is like right now, Intel is scraping up as much money as they can to drop that off because you need them, Intel. If you want to be a player in this market, people keep clowning you because every time you show up, you're not as good as AMD and or NVIDIA. If you have a player like this in your pocket, all of a sudden you're here to play.
We can talk about this next week, but what is the actual likelihood of Intel ever becoming a serious player in the video card market?
Big question. If all of a sudden you hear EVGA jump ship from NVIDIA to Intel, I'd say, they're here now. I would say, yup. Welcome, NVIDIA. Welcome, Intel. You're now a player because EVGA is gaming for a lot of people.
Yeah,
like a lot of people.
So you think they could pick up EVGA and then have them manufacture their cards?
Yeah.
The experience they have, the internal knowledge they have of how NVIDIA makes what they do, like they would be instrumental to Intel. Instrumental. Yes. So yes, for my gamers out there who aren't necessarily
let me ask you
PC gamers.
Let me ask you a different question, and then I do really got to get out of here.
Oh yeah.
is there a world where what you're describing has already happened via back channels, where it's like, hey, we want to make a move into this world.
Well,
why don't you announce your what you call it?
I will
and
tell
you
you
don't
this,
got to fire
this story
anybody
is as fresh as the 16th. This story is as fresh as the 16th, and it was originally sourced by Gamers Nexus. For those who know Gamers Nexus, they are the truth in all things PC gaming. You know, when Digital Foundry needs someone above their level to get some information, who do they call? Gamers Nexus. And he spoke with them as recently as yesterday, and it's like, nope, we done. So we shall see. You know, it's an interesting world we find ourselves in. This is my card, by the way. This is exactly
money changes minds. So
money does change minds. I'm hoping
they don't.
I'm hoping that this is.
They don't just have GPUs, right? They have like keyboards and mice.
Oh yeah, they have a whole
slate. Branding.
Yeah,
slate with these
but they're known for their GPUs, and they say about 70% of the employees are there for just GPUs.
Wow.
Right. So imagine they're no longer doing GPUs. And you have 70% of your employee base there just for GPUs. Crazy.
Interesting.